Welcome into the kickoff presented by Ram Trucks alongside Sam Ravitch on Trevor Skills, and I know nothing. Everything I said last week, just forget about it. It was null and void after week one actually occurred, but we did learn plenty. When we get right to it, a host of matchups across the weekend, the message boards were already all kinds of lit, and I'm appreciative of that.
Yeah.
But if we could just get right into the headlines that were, as far as the losses that occurred, especially in that top 10 range, beginning with Alabama. They traveled down to the Florida State Seminoles. He waxed, frankly, the score not quite as indicative of how dominant of an effort it was by Florida State. If we go boom or bust on the Crimson Tide, what you go?
Everyone's piling on Alabama. I'm just gonna join the heap. Unfamiliar territory in Titletown. Tide start 0-1 in the season for the first time since 0-1. Nick Saban, head coach for the Tide, 209 games. Kalen DeBoer, 14 games. They both have the same amount of losses to unranked opponents at number 4. I don't know about you, Trev, but I don't know the last time that we have heard an Alabama team described as average and lethargic, because that's what they're being talked about right now.
I have zero familiarity with that concept, those adjectives being attached to a Crimson Tide team, and I'm gonna side with you in the bust category for this Bama team because of how it just didn't hit the same, right? Quite literally, frankly.
Right.
That Kalen DeBoer-led team only rushed for 87 yards. A host of them on that opening drive. Beyond that, that is the lowest in a season opener for the Crimson Tide since 1975. Good news, Side fans. You went 9-1 that season. Bad news is it just isn't gonna be that same sort of cakewalk of a schedule. I've obviously. Everybody now has that sort of lack of fear that Tommy Castellanos exhibited going into this tilt, right? There's not the same aura, if you want to call it that. All kinds of things that felt like Bama before are things of the past, and I don't know what exactly you can do to get that right if you're Kalen before.
Right, they got some injuries to the Miller thing. But I don't know that they're a Jim Miller away from winning that game. They got some other issues going on. Speaking of issues, Texas had some issues going up to Columbus to take on the reigning national champs Ohio State. Lost the game by a touchdown. Arch Manning first start on the road. Boomer bust on the Longhorns this year.
Okay, I'll go boom on the Longhorns, mainly because of what they have in front of them from a schedule standpoint, and beyond that, I think it does stand to reason to give Matt Patricia and Ohio State a lot of credit for how many times they mixed up the looks for Arch Manning, made him uncomfortable. He never looked settled. It was happy feet. Every single time he dropped back, was trying to move it around that pocket. But again, 3 games you got coming up against San Jose State.
Yeah,
I believe it's UTEP and you got 3 cupcakes. Dude, that is the gist of it.
Yeah.
That you can get Arch Manning right, and that sort of builds momentum for a cat that we have all come to assume has all the tools in the world to be great.
Yeah.
And I